about the end of the world. No, we're not. We're here to just have a good time and hang out with old friends who haven't gotten a chance to hang out in a long time. I'm Chris. Obviously, you've got Jason Murphy there from Modern Rogue. Hello. And
Hello.
Jeff Schussler from Rage Select.
Yeah. What's up?
It's weird hanging out with you guys, and we're not like, I don't know, in a big group together in front of microphones or at a bar.
all in the circle, the shouting circle.
Indeed, the shouting circle, as it were. But man, so great to have you guys on here. I feel like with everybody that I've had on here, I want to ask, man, how are you doing this, man? How are you handling this isolation? What's your isolation strategy, Jeff?
My isolation strategy is actually very similar to what my strategy for life was before isolation, because I kind of just stayed at home, played a lot of video games, tried not to go to the grocery store, rationed toilet paper, ate a lot of beans. I mean, it's largely similar now, except for the fact that we finally got Rage Select working where I can do like remoting people in to do just our regular videos. So I can now just bring people in and nobody even has to come to my house. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why haven't we done more Red Deads then? I can do that.
I was kind of asking the same question. I kept seeing him post the Rage Selects and I'm like, Jeff hasn't contacted me to come to a Rage Select and I'm here.
Last week was like the pilot test to try to see if we could actually make it work. We have a video that went up on Tuesday with Matt and I where I'm pretty sure that Matt was recording with his microphone turned in the wrong direction. And then
that sounds like Matt.
I was recording the wrong thing. And so the whole video is just a mess. So now that we have it ironed out, I was actually thinking it would be possible to do a Rage Select Dojo with every single person who's ever actually been on Rage Select at the same time from the comfort of their own homes. Except that would be like 60 co-hosts, and so that would be...
I'm in. Let's do it.
Yeah. You're going to have to like hire bounty hunters to find some of those people.
Right? You should do it. But
like me.
It's a game you're the worst at. So we can all just like tell you how terrible you are at doing it. And that will make it fun.
Chris, everybody knows I'm super good at all video games all the time. All right.
It's true.
There's not one that I'm bad at. So
it's true.
Right. It's true.
Like he's like an older Fred Savage.
Is that a video game reference? I don't even
the
know.
Wizard.
The Wizard.
But he wasn't good. It was his little brother that was good. I'm more like an old Christian Slater from The Wizard.
Like, yeah, you're right.
By the way, Jeff, turn down that heat on the mic more.
Okay.
It's still pretty hot. Jason.
Yeah.
Jason Murphy. First off, question per fan. What are those figurines that were above you?
Hey, thanks, Yuck. How are you, man? The ones above me? That's the Falcon. You want to see?
Wow, we did the full tour.
Yeah, I mean they're not all. I've got a box of. It's pretty amazing. It's the gigantic Millennium Falcon. You can see Han up there working on it, and then there's Han's even got his little blowtorch thing.
That's pretty good, man. That you have made a diorama.
Oh yeah, and then there's that, and like I got a lot of stuff, and then of course there's the Iron Fist shelf.
Nice.
Can you do a feature where Matt and Jason have like a how many action figures are in my office showdown? Because I don't even know who would win anymore.
Oh, Matt wins. Having set foot in Matt's office,
mm-hmm.
Dude, I was like, it went from this is going to be impressive to I'm not going to be able to leave, am I?
What, you know too much?
Justin, it's like I'm getting sacrificed to some kaiju or something.
Justin Zarian, who I know you're out there posting on there. When you saw Oneofus.net, that's Justin. Justin, change so you post as Justin, not as Oneofus.net, so everybody knows it's you. Just there you go. Paloma, one of our new regulars. Those are cool Star Wars figures. I have a lot of action figures too. That surprises me not at all. But all my figures are just spread across my shelves. They're mainly stuff Randy Lander gave to I don't want this anymore. You can have it. And they're all like stuff.
Randy makes me buy everything. What the shit he's giving you things?
It was in the Leog days. You remember when he would bring boxes of shit that everyone like, I'll take what you want. And I'd be like, I have all of the authority figures from the Warren
I
Ellis
didn't even
book.
know they had authority figures.
I know, right?
I mean,
yeah, kind of happy about it. But all right, so let's talk about what you've been doing to stay sane during this apocalypse. First off, what have you guys been watching? I know you've been watching something. There's something you've been meaning to watch and you finally got or get back to, never finished. What is that thing?
I just finished watching Beastars on Netflix, which was really, really, really weird.
You and every video game person I know, and I'm a video game person too, so I don't know where that's coming, but you know what I mean? Hardcore video game person. It's like, well, I'm watching Beastars. I'm like, I don't know what that is. We reviewed it on, I didn't review it, but it's on Oneofus.net. So clearly my crew was like, we care about this product.
Yeah, it's really strange. I mean, it's like high school slice of life drama, except it's about a wolf that's in love with a rabbit, and he doesn't know if he wants to have sex with the rabbit or eat the rabbit because he's a fucking wolf. Like,
we've all been there.
Yeah. Just like regular dating. I mean,
yeah, pretty much
the way I do it, at least. I don't know about it.
That's Tinder for you.
Do you swipe wolf or rabbit?
No, man, I'm mongoose, like a mongoose all the way. That's where I'm at.
Did you are you still caught up with the Magicians? I know I turned you on to the Magicians, and I still think that show's amazing. They like halfway through this season went, oh, by the way, this is the final season. I'm like, what the fuck is that shit? But apparently it has a real ending.
Yeah, I don't know. There's like 3 episodes left that I haven't watched, and I've just kind of been waiting for the day to sit down and watch all of them. But then I also started watching Scrubs for the first time, and that's really easy to just like, okay, how about another one? How about another one? How about another one? It's like eating Cheetos,
It's Friends for people who also like ER.
Right.
That's cool. I mean, like, it's all about like kind of like finding the things that you have been meaning to watch. I made a list, like literally made a huge list of organized by streaming service, everything I've been meaning to watch and have not gotten around to watching, like movies, TV shows, just so you just sort of mark that off, go to the next one. And it's been working well for me. I finished Ozark, so there you go.
Nice. That's I'm actually I just picked up season 2 of Ozark, watching that. And I'm about halfway through. Top shelf stuff, really good, like stomach, like tight, put your stomach in knots, right? Because every episode it's like the vice just gets a little tighter on the Bird family, and they're just really putting the screws to them. So it's really, really compelling television.
I started because I had been watching it a while ago because Martin Thomas wouldn't shut up about it. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll watch that because he's the one who insisted I watch Breaking Bad. And I was like, and then he was right. And so I was like, okay, this feels like that. And I got halfway through the second season and just somehow fell off. I don't know why. Those things where you're like, I like it. I just got distracted and I forgot what was going on. But Netflix, thank God, had remembered where I left off. So I went back on. I just finished up to the 3rd season today. You think the 2nd season is intense? Who boy?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I had to go back because it was a long time between season 1, when I watched season 1 and season 2, and I had to go back and read the wiki entry so that I could figure out like exactly what had happened and who was what and all that. But well worthwhile, so good. And again, you said Breaking Bad, so if you're a fan of Breaking Bad, I really think that you got to check out Ozark because they're definitely cut from the same cloth.
Oh, completely agree. Entertaining and stomach churning.
I would say if you're a fan of Breaking Bad, you should watch Better Call Saul.
Oh,
because that show is amazing.
I just finished season 4 of Better Call Saul, and that's just epic. It's so good. It actually makes Breaking Bad better. And I finally got around to watching El Camino, which was excellent. That was really good. Allison and I just started rewatching Community. Which that's a good reminder that, the first 4 seasons of this show are excellent.
I mean, even the 5th season where is the 5th season where Harmon dropped off?
I think so. I remember, I haven't rewatched it, but I remember like 5 and 6, like I didn't see any of 6, but 5, I remember starting to get kind of wobbly. And Jonathan Banks shows up at one point. He's a new character that they introduce or something like that. So Yeah, I've been doing that and Ozark. Finally getting to watch Barry.
Oh,
which
it's
is
so great.
phenomenal. Yeah, I love how they skewer self-important actors. Like every episode, it's like, well, acting is truth. No, it's not.
No, and it's just making fun of that. It's just having so much fun at the expense of actors, by actors doing it, and that kills me.
Yeah.
So Parker says, going through Castlevania, this is the one show, and I'm not really kind of an anime, I'm not even really a huge animation guy overall, but everyone across the board tells me Castlevania is terrific, and I have not actually started it, but I put it on my list. It's on my streaming list to mark off.
It's good. I watched the first episode of the 3rd season the other day, and the first season I thought was a little uneven, not bad, but the 2nd season was actually really good. And then the 3rd season, I watched the first episode, and it was like, man, if I didn't know Warren Ellis wrote this, I would know that Warren Ellis wrote this.
That's fair. Oh, by the way, I'm informed Harmon was fired for the 4th season was the one. I knew this at some point. But I remember watching that season. Everyone's like, no, we hate it. We're going to hate it because Harmon tells us to hate it. And I was like, it really wasn't that bad. I don't tell you. I really liked it. I've still not watched the 6th season of Community because it was on Yahoo. You remember they switched to just Yahoo streaming, and then Yahoo streaming just doesn't work pretty much. And so I was like,
I didn't know it's still a thing.
Yeah, I just gave up. I was like, I can't watch this. I'm trying, and it's not working. So, but it's all on Netflix or Netflix. Yes, Netflix now. All 6 seasons. So yeah. Tell me, you guys who do video games, what are people playing? What are you playing?
Well, I just got done today streaming our 5 and 6 of Final Fantasy VII Remake that came out on Friday. Jason, I played Dark Souls enough, okay? I think 400 hours is enough Dark Souls for one.
Kerbal Space Program.
I agree.
There's no such thing as enough Kerbal Space Program. Put my finger on there. I'm going to point at you. I'm going to call you out. Yeah, so I've been playing Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh, God!
Which is actually surprisingly... It's such a weird thing because I am not like the Final Fantasy VII was the best video game that ever came out guy, and we should spend a decade remaking it. But it's pretty fun. Like, it's not bad. It's actually the best implementation that Square Enix, I feel, has done of this whole like, oh, it's an RPG, but it's also real time. Because I feel like 15 didn't do that very well, and I'm not a big fan of Kingdom Hearts, but this one was pretty fun. Like, it's actually the combat fun that is getting me over the, oh, right, Cloud is an emo jerk-off.
All right.
And the worst protagonist of all time.
I think what made, for me, 7, the one that made me briefly dip my toe, but very happily into JRPGs, was the combat system was pretty fucking great in the original game. And it was so cinematic, like in a point where that was kind of new, games having these huge cutscenes and like really being about that. I mean, I remember the first time we saw those huge cutscenes, we're like, holy shit, this isn't a video game? We're like, well, kinda. It's a cutscene. Yeah. But at the time, that was kind of new. We were very excited. I keep hearing how beautiful looking this game is from everyone. That's the number one thing I hear. But the combat is good. Is it a worked version of the combat, or is it something totally new?
Yeah, it's basically it's like semi real time combat, and then whenever you just do your regular hits, you build up like this little ATB gauge, and then you can basically cash those in to cast spells or do attacks. And in the beginning, I feel like it's pretty good, but I just got to the point where they finally gave me 3 full party member characters. And the thing that really makes it better than 15 was that the party member characters in 15 were all kind of on autopilot, or at least they were when I played it. I don't know if it happens later, but like here, you want to be constantly switching between the 3 characters because the AI won't build up the little gauge that you need to do spells and cool shit. So you want to like attack a little bit and then flip over from Cloud to Tifa, and then switch from Tifa to Barrett, and then back again, and then execute a bunch of stuff. So it's got a lot going on. Like Final Fantasy 15, I felt like was just kind of hold down a button, and Kingdom Hearts didn't ever, I think, stop the combat, which in this one, when you hit a button, it'll just like freeze everything in place, and then you can pick what you want to do. I don't know. Altogether, it's just the best system I've seen done from them, and it's a lot more like exciting and engaging than stuff that Square has tried in the past.
And Square has had a checkered past. I would firmly argue they made some of the greatest RPG games ever, and a lot of the worst.
Yeah. I feel like they've been for years trying to say, oh, you guys don't want turn-based RPG combat. You want real-time RPG combat. And everybody's like, no, we don't. Just go back to the standing on one side, standing on the other side thing. That's fine. But yeah, I mean, so far it's been good. It's just my favorite characters are not in this game because this is only the first part. So I'm a real big Sid guy. I'm a real big Vincent guy, and Sid and Vincent don't come until later in the story. So like,
so
this game ain't gonna have them in it.
So this is not going but so far into the story.
Yeah, it's basically the first disc from Final Fantasy VII. So.
Okay. Oh God, I forgot those were separate discs. It's so long ago. Do you remember when games were separate discs? Yeah. Hey kids, you used to have to get up, pull a disc out, and put another disc in. Do you remember when games were like PC games? It'd be like 10 disc games that you'd be like, 10 discs? What the fuck? How long is this thing? And then the truth was not that long, really. It was just, when it was. So
yep.
They were very ambitious. So I think what it comes down to. But what's your favorite game you're playing right now, Jeff?
I'm real conflicted because I really want to play Doom Eternal, but I have plans for Doom Eternal for Rage Select, so I'm not playing Doom Eternal, even though I really, really, really want to play Doom Eternal.
Why have you? What's the problem with waiting?
Well, I really want to play it real bad. But I can't because
why can't you play?
There's plans, wheels, spreadsheets, a whiteboard over there with a bunch of stuff on it. Yeah, I just can't right now.
Okay, so. It's secrets.
And then like Final Fantasy VII. Damn it, I forgot you've been in here recently, Jason. But I really want to play Doom Eternal. Oh, I played Resident Evil 3. That was really good. That was probably the best thing I played over the last 2 or 3 weeks. I forgot
that was out. I got given Resident Evil 2, the remake by someone, and the original is one of my all-time favorites. I think Jason, you and I have had this discussion before about like that was a formative game for both of us.
Oh yeah. When Res 2 came out, it was a 2-disc game because it came in the big. If you remember, it came in the big 2-pack.
Oh yeah,
box. You
were like, box. Whoa. 2 discs.
Yeah. And man, it just hit all of those Romero notes for me, and wasn't as. It was a big improvement from the first one, I thought.
Did you play the reboot?
No, I have not.
Okay,
I haven't played any. I've played actually scant few Resident Evil games. For some reason, I played bits and pieces of all of them throughout. I think a lot of it was the tank controls just drove me crazy, so I couldn't really.
Oh man,
invest in them.
It's weird. I'm playing Shadow of Tomb Raider right now because it's a free download from Plus, and it's still every time I play a Tomb Raider, the fact you don't have to do the thing just it's weird to me. Although it's funny, Shadow has a thing where you can change your skin to original Tomb Raider, so you look just like the cheap Lara Croft, and I kind of like.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But the Resident Evil 2, I played it. I got about halfway through it, and I'm like, I'm really enjoying this. But it's Resident Evil 2? It's like go all the way here. Now go all the way back here. Now go all the way back here. Now go all the way back there. And it's like
that's like Dead Space.
God damn, the graphics are like really good, but it's the same fucking game. It's that whole like go all the way through everything, except this time maybe dogs will jump at you again. Maybe they won't. I don't know.
Heart attack.
Yeah.
The dogs.
That first time the dogs jumped through the window in Resident Evil 2, holy fucking shit.
I think that's Resident Evil 1.
Oh, Resident Evil 1. You're right. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, was it?
Yeah. I hope that isn't Chris's blood. But how is Resident Evil 3?
Short. It's only about 6 hours long, which considering that Resident Evil 2 is like somewhere in like the 8 to 10 hours, and then because you have the two protagonists, you just go back and play it again with the other person because you've got the like side A and side B. So first you play it with Claire, then you go back and play with Leon. Whereas 3, it's just one protagonist. It's about 6 hours. I streamed the entire thing. Like I played it last week over the course of 3 days, just finished it. And then the thing is that they want a whole $60 for it, and then they've got a Resident Evil multiplayer Resistance. It's like asymmetric. One person controls the zombies, and 4 people are trying to get out of a thing. And considering Resident Evil's multiplayer track record, it's like if you're into that, if you really want to do that,
real sketchy.
Yeah, but you know how Facebook has that thing where they're like, "Here's your memories from however long ago," and my one from a few days ago was Jason Murphy playing Resident Evil 7 on the VR helmet.
Oh.
I'm sitting right next to him, and he's like, "Jesus, fuck." I've still not played that on VR, but not playing it on VR even was truly terrifying.
I think that's when I was begging you not to touch him because you wanted to fuck with him. And I'm like, he's going to take off my brand new VR headset and throw it on the ground and start kung fu fighting zombies.
It's true. It would have been, I fail to see why you don't see that would have like upped your viewership immensely if that had happened.
I didn't want a broken VR headset.
They're a little pricey.
Come on, man. The numbers.
Do it for the clicks.
Jason, what are you playing?
I picked up Minecraft again.
Oh man, I keep looking at it. I'm literally seeing the icon right now on my computer and going, that it's like World of Warcraft basically, right?
Oh,
you're like, you tell yourself you're done.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, well, I'll just play it for an afternoon. Before you know it, 3 weeks have gone by and you've built like Hogwarts.
Yeah. No, we, Allison and I always play that couch co-op on the PlayStation 4. It's great. It's really peaceful. We just started a new map. So we're, we hadn't played it in a long time because we used to be like really, really fixated on it. And then we kind of put it down for a while, but now we've picked it back up again and have been playing that. And I personally have been playing a unreasonable amount of Call of Duty Warzone.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
You really?
Yeah.
That surprises me.
A lot.
Did Brushwood get you into it or something?
No. My brother did, actually. He loves all the Call of Duty games and everything. And I never really got into Call of Duty multiplayer. I was just telling Brant, one of the guys on the Modern Rogue crew, you guys might know him. I was just telling Brant that how groundbreaking the original Call of Duty single player campaigns were back when they came out on the PC. They were stunning, right? But I never got into the multiplayer really. Tried it out a few times. Wasn't for me. But when you take Call of Duty and they say, man, that PUBG sure is good. We should, I don't know, file the serial numbers off and call it Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like PUBG, but a little more, I don't know, a little more explodey.
Yeah.
Have you played, God, what's the one where you're a sniper? That's big. Where the bullet goes through and it shows the X-ray.
Oh, yeah.
Sniper Elite. Yeah.
Dude, that game is amazing. Holy shit.
Jason and I have known this for quite some time.
Oh my God.
Yes, Chris. Let me come gather around, children, and let Jeff and I tell you the story of the butt sniper.
Yes.
Shit, man. My buddy from London, Baz, was like, no, dude, this is the game. You have it for free through your PlayStation Plus. You should play it. I'm like, well, it sounded like some cheapy thing. He's like, no, it's amazing. Started crying. It was weird.
I think I've killed Hitler in every one of those games because like every one of them has a pre-order shoot Hitler. And Jason, didn't you and I shoot him in the ball?
Oh, we totally did.
In the single testicle.
We did it.
Yep.
Still proud of that. Still, that's I put that on my resume. Actually,
I actually went back through it just to learn to redo it by shooting them through the testicles. At one point, I was like, I'll go back to the first level because someone else told me that. Shoot them through the balls. I'm like, oh, I didn't even try that. It was like, okay,
I think
you're right.
I think Jeb and I did it such that we got him in the butthole, and then it came out on the berries. And so, I mean, that's That's you just uninstall it after that because you win. You won.
Right. Game over, as it were.
Yeah.
Yep.
I tried playing the zombie one they put out. There was a gift from said same friends. Like, I'm just going to buy this for you because they put it's a little side thing where it's like the same game except they're zombies. And for the first couple levels, it's like, I got this. This is cool, killing Nazi zombies. And then it's fucking impossible. They're like swarm you from everywhere. You're like, what am I supposed to do here? They're everywhere. It's a lot like a zombie movie.
I would just get sad, and that's why I couldn't really get into zombies for Call of Duty because I was just like, this isn't Left 4 Dead 3.
That game made me very happy, though. Real quick, we are going to bring in Justin. Y'all know Justin Zarian?
Virtually.
Well, Justin got to see this movie. This is a whole story I'm not even going to go into about why this was not a proper review and why Justin didn't even want to review this fucking film. Impractical Jokers, I believe. Is that right? Justin, I can see you. They can't. Justin, nod if that's correct. Is that right? Impractical Jokers? Yes. All right. It's one of those guys do pranks, but we built a plot around it into a movie things, like Jackass was trying to do with Bad Grandpa. Justin, tell us a little bit about Impractical Jokers. Before.
Do I have to?
Yeah, no, you don't. Okay, bye. Just kidding. Just kidding.
That was pretty good.
Hey, everybody.
Is this a movie or a show?
So let me explain. I can give context here.
Okay.
So Impractical Jokers is a show, I believe they show on like True TV or one of those kind of like Comedy Central and that kind of such. Basically, they're like Jackass. They're like all those kind of prank shows where it's 4 dudes from New York, essentially, who are good friends, who go around and set up challenges for each other where they prank people in the public with some bit. Like what in the movie, there's an example where they're pretending they're going to go to a funeral and they have an urn with them that they have a eulogy planned. And pretty much they have a microphone in their earpiece, and the people behind the scenes, or the people not in the skit at that moment, feed them prompts that they have to say to the public, like pranking them with stuff. Like, okay, you're going to read the eulogy, but you have to read it exactly the way we tell you. And it's going to be embarrassing stuff or silly things. And if they can't do it, then they lose. And whoever gets the most points gets a special challenge at the end, stuff like that kind of thing. So for some reason, they decided to make a movie out of that. And I really don't understand why.
I mean, what's the plot? How is there a plot? I'm very confused at how you turn that into a plot. I watched the trailer, and even then I went, I don't have any idea what this is actually supposed to be.
Well, I'm glad you asked, because there is just enough plot to justify a movie.
Are you glad I asked?
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to say this. The only reason I requested this movie is because my dad, my brother, and my half-sister are all big fans of the show. Like, they watched every season, they watched every episode. And when I saw it, I'm like, well, I don't want to watch it, but I know my dad would love to watch it. And I made an excuse to do a father-son bonding thing. So for that is the only reason it's worth it. But the actual plot of the movie, pretty much it's like the Jerky Boys movie, or one of those terrible films where it's like, got
the Jerky Boys movie. Guys, I gotta go.
I'm saying it's that flimsy excuse where it's like,
it's date night, and so after this, I'm gonna put that on. Romance.
Is that your regular date night routine? Is the Jerky Boys movie?
Yeah, every time, man. We're looking for something new. Gonna spice it up a little bit,
Sometimes I hear that they play Minecraft and watch the Jerky Boys movie at the same time.
A little Barry White in the background, same time. Come on, got to create the mood.
Sorry, the plot, like I was saying, just in the vein of Jerky Boys, they set up some dumb skit thing where them as young men, which is them with wigs, they go to a Paula Abdul concert and sabotage it because they pranked their way into the backstage thing. And so the premise is that years later, Paula Abdul, I guess she actually is a huge fan of the Practical Jokers. Sure, why not? She gives them tickets, but they only give them 3 tickets. So now they have to drive all the way to Florida for the concert, and they have to do pranks so they can be able to get points to decide who gets to go to the concert and who has to stay at home. And that's about as deep as the plot gets, because let me just say this. There's a reason why Paula Abdul doesn't do acting, because she's awful. She is awful at acting.
Was it Glitter? was her big film.
No, that was
Mariah
the other-
Carey.
I can't.
Mariah
tell
Carey,
the
that's
difference. I'm
right.
sorry.
Yeah, no, Paula has done like a couple things. She has no talent.
Her
But-
major film credit is acting alongside MC Scat Cat.
That was his name. That was his name.
Yeah, the opposite attract video, right?
MC Scat
Oh,
Cat.
That's,
What are you doing with your life, MC Scat Cat?
What is Jeff doing with his life that he was able to recall that like that?
You know, sometimes you've had a few beers and you want to watch Paula Abdul videos. I'm not apologizing for anything. I'm apologizing for everything.
It's not a bad video. I don't blame you. But yeah, that's basically the setup, and then they cut to some random scripted segments every now and then it's just 12 skits from the Impractical Jokers tied together with the loosest of plots. That's essentially the movie. And
So not good is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing not good.
I'm going to say this. It is not a good movie. It should have just been on TV. I don't know why. They released it in theaters right before the coronavirus shutdown started happening. My brother went to go see it, and I'm just like, who the frick is going to go to the theaters rather than wait for it in the theater? I mean, wait for it at home, essentially. But there's parts where if you sit, it's kind of that thing where you like begrudgingly go, all right, I've sat through this for an hour and a half. There was at least a few moments where I chuckled in this. And almost all the funny lines of the movie or the funny bits come from one of the guys whose name is Joe Gatto, because they're trying to do the whole thing where they improvise based on suggestions and pretend to like, oh, I'm a guy stuck on the side of the road. I'm going to flag down people to help me with the car, but then I'm going to make them do goofy stuff when they're trying to help me fix the car kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And he was like the only guy who actually knew how to stay in character and fake like he's actually a person who's in need, because everyone else, it's just one of those things where you see them like cracking halfway through, just like, oh, I can't do this. It's so silly. I'm just like,
okay, hold on. I got to ask Marco. Keanu Reeves was in a Paula Abdul video? I don't know about this. Hi, Allison.
Hey, hello.
Marco, does anyone know about this? Keanu Reeves was in a Paula Abdul video? I don't know about this. Is this a real thing, or is Marco just like having a senior moment?
Marco, Emilio Estevez, please. Let's not forget his career. Young Guns 2, The Mighty Ducks.
Hey, Keanu Reeves is that
there are probably more Mighty Ducks? I don't know.
All you can think of for Emilio Estevez as being his best films, Jason Murphy?
No.
I'm judging you right now.
He directed a few movies.
Oh my God! Come on.
The Outsiders.
Oh God! Come
Good
on.
film. Good films. No, there was he had a cameo in the first Mission Impossible movie, I think.
Oh my God! Think back further. Young Emilio Estevez. I mean, you could name two right now that were like, why
Repo Man.
Yes, thank you. And also, a little John Hughes film, but Repo Man was the one I was thinking of.
Oh, Breakfast Club. Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
I was like, what? Nathan go, well, Judgment Night.
Judgment Night.
Shut up, Nathan. And Frank. Shut up, Frank.
So let's just agree that Paula Abdul's a star maker. Okay.
Yeah, it seems that way. Yeah. I think that's clear. God damn it. All right. I'm sorry, Justin. We got sidetracked. Finish your review.
I know. It's this kind of thing, like 2 steps forward, two steps back,
Yeah, there's not really a whole lot else to say to this. It's exactly
whatever.
Yeah, it's exactly what you think it is. It's something you should wait to watch on TV if your grandparents or your dad wants to watch this, and they'll enjoy it. Even my dad, though, at some point he's just like, yeah, I kind of miss the commercial breaks, because then you can take a break from just the stupid back to forth. No, seriously, like I almost feel that way too. I'm like, yeah, at least with commercial breaks, I can take a breather and not have to sit through a bunch of jerks picking on people essentially in their skits the entire time. I'm just like, okay, I get some of them probably are aware this is a sketch comedy at some point, but a lot of them, they're just full on pranking a bunch of people. Like probably the worst and / funniest was they go to a social media panel, like one of those big like tech guru things with a bunch of scholars from across the country. And they pranked one of the dudes because they gave him a presentation, but they didn't tell him what was in it. And essentially they cut 2 segments where they filmed his parents pretending to do softcore porn setup videos things. And so the only thing that was funny about that is watching the people clearly not in on the joke in the audience just visibly grow uncomfortable with every new thing that was happening throughout it. So if that kind of stuff entertains you, you'll get a couple chuckles and maybe one actual laugh from that. But
that's really cold-hearted.
it is. No, these guys are dicks. They're just, I don't get why people love them so much. Like, I guess if you just really have that sociopathic side in you that likes to.
Do you guys have infinity time and immortality? Because I'm gonna die someday, and that just sounds like
Watch
something
get punked, you know?
I no, that's all right. I'm gonna die someday. Yep. You can watch that. I'm gonna go watch Breaking Bad again, or eat a hamburger.
Somebody made the decision actively to spend, what was it, $24 to stream this fucking thing? Like, I mean, I don't mean you. Your dad was the one who was saying I want to see it. So and plus you got it for free for like because the studio was like, do you want to watch it? It was like, okay, we'll do this here. Somebody wants to know how this fucking movie is. $24, how much it was to watch this fucking movie.
Straight up, now tell me, was it worth it?
The only thing that was worth it is that my dad, at the end of the movie, even though both was like, it was okay, he looked at me and said, I had a great time watching this with you. Thanks a lot. I'm glad that you thought of me when you requested this movie. So that was the only thing that was worth it. The movie, no, that's like I would say the movie's like a 3 out of 10 uncomfortable stripper dances with your family. Because that is the scene that happens where they set up a bit where a guy on his birthday, they get him they bring him to a strip club. He's got a bunch of hookers dancing around him. And then they open a panel and his family's there, including 2 young nieces of his, to watch him get embarrassed in front of that like that. And you're just, again, Jeff, yes, that's exactly the thought. I'm like, this is just mean and cruel.
I mean, it was a great 18th birthday for me. So I don't know.
Easter, am I right?
There you go.
It's celebrating fertility, Come on.
Oh, one last thing.
He is risen, and so am I.
There's some great schadenfreude of this movie because some skit they did years ago involved a dude getting a tattooed face of Jaden Smith on his thigh. And they play that into a skit here because he got an actual tattoo. So he's got an actual tattoo of Jaden Smith on his thigh that he carries around with him for the rest of his life. And then he gets a second one for this movie because he actually meets Jaden Smith and Jaden Smith tells him, yeah, it's cool, but you should get a new one. My face looks different now than when I was that age. And you're just like, okay, at least, there you go. You get to watch this moron have to carry 2 tattoos of Jaden Smith around forever.
Jaden Smith probably didn't bat an eye. He was like, yeah, well, I'm trying to start a cult, so...
At this point, he'll take what he can get, right?
Yeah.
Did you see the clip? That's almost exactly how he treated it. He's just like, that's cool, man.
My brain refuses to, listen to this. I'm having to struggle to... The words that you're putting together,
it's fair.
I don't understand them anymore.
Well, Justin, I think we're gonna have to cut you out on that note because we've had enough of your impractical joking, sir.
This was a big prank on you. Yes.
Wait, what? Really? I feel like this day is coming, but
someone's gonna burst through that door behind you, just like surprise.
I have been waiting my whole life for this moment. That's why I always have my shotgun beside me. Anyway, thank you, Justin. Always one of the people Justin who helps me run this site to a degree to which I'm just honored and kind of embarrassed about. Well, thanks, man.
Hey, thanks. And it's nice to meet you too, Jeff and Jason. Nice
guys,
so.
Yeah.
Removed from stream.
Okay.
Sorry. No, we can't cut me for that, Ben.
I feel like you're drunk with stream power, Chris.
I know. I love it. I can just press a button and they're like, fuck off. You're gone. You're gone. I want to talk a little bit about some of this entertainment news that has come up. And if there's anyone on this stream who is really into horror movies, you let me know right now and I will send you a link to join this discussion. But that being said, I am going to go ahead and launch into it and say, man, I like Fede Alvarez.
Yeah.
Right.
Who?
I mean, I think he did a super solid Evil Dead movie, right? And no one expected that to be good. And it was pretty fucking good.
I didn't mind it. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. Yeah. It was a decent film.
I've watched it 3 times now and I like it better every time I watch it. I'm like,
oh wow.
Okay.
I've only seen it that once at South by, I think.
We were sitting right next to each other.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, up in that fucking balcony at goddamn Paramount. Ugh.
Yes.
But I really liked it. I've liked his career. He's been an interesting director. I haven't loved everything he's done, but pretty interesting. But Lionsgate going, oh, he's going to do a zombie film for us. I'm like, guys, what are you doing? 16 states, a zombie pandemic thriller. Like, this is just a little too on the nose right now. I mean, like, if you're going to do a zombie thing, try and find something new and exciting you might be able to do with it, because this ain't it. I don't know.
Zombies in 2020. It's like, that's you're going to bring your pogs too?
Exactly.
I don't dated. You can have Paul Abdul sing the score.
Oh, but it's a zombie movie, but the difference is it's a pandemic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I think he's a compelling, exciting director. I liked most of Don't Breathe. I thought it was effectively a tense thriller.
I really liked Don't Breathe.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm curious to see it. I'm actually really looking forward to Zack Snyder's Zombie Heist Vegas movie. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah. No, actually, and we've had plenty of discussions about Zack Snyder and our varying feelings about him. But I gotta admit, that's a solid idea for a zombie film. I was like, nobody's made that film. I'm interested to see what would happen with that. Yes.
Yeah. I like to think that he's like, okay, when was the last time that I made a really good movie? What was in it? Zombies. Let's do that. We'll do zombies.
I don't think he's doing an adaptation of Fountainhead, as far as I know, but maybe he is. I don't know. I wouldn't be totally shocked, but maybe he is. I don't know. Have you heard that? I haven't heard that. I don't want to know. I'm just gonna click. That's gone.
I wish he would, because the Atlas Shrugged movies are the funniest goddamn comedies I have ever seen in my entire life.
Ooh, I haven't seen them.
They're so good. I mean, like, they're taking it seriously, but the things they say are so fucking stupid. Like, you're just like, what? Trains? What are we talking about here? Like, yeah, it's great. It's wonderful.
I found those to the level of bad enjoyable, where I admit I came down on your side. At first, I was like, fuck this, fuck all of this, fuck this guy, fuck everything about it. And then I just stopped and started playing BioShock. Never mind. I got confused.
Man,
you can see
that honestly, I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but while we're talking about Fountainhead, we gotta talk about the BioShock games, right?
Sure. Yeah.
They're inspired by. We don't have to really go into it, but that when we were playing BioShock Infinite, Jeff, me and you, that's one of my favorite video game memories of all time. when we were playing that, and there was that reveal.
Yep.
And it was just like, what?
Oh my god, the sky is full of racism. Ah!
Those were on PlayStation Plus recently, and I was like, yeah, I am gonna download them and play them all the way through again. Fuck you. Fuck. And my wife is like, didn't you play these since we've been together? Yes, shut up. I'm playing them again. It's fine.
I don't think I ever played part 2.
Part 2 is good. I like part 2.
Actually, people did a lot of, 2 is just it doesn't change enough. I'm like, no, 2 is like is kind of a reboot of 1. Oh, it's a lot better than 1. If you had to pick 1 to play, I'd say pick 2.
No kidding.
That's not true. No.
No,
that's not true. Mechanically, it is better than the first one, but the story of BioShock 1 is far superior to the story of BioShock 2.
Oh, I like BioShock 2 better.
Yeah, I do. I still think that BioShock 2 had gotten a bad rap for being in the same place, and I think it's good, but I think that there's some stuff that 1 does that you could count on one hand, like video games that have done that sort of thing. Like, I don't know. If anybody has not played 1, you should definitely go play 1. Because I think
they're both great.
Yep.
But how's Infinite by comparison?
It's
such a different game.
It's okay. It holds up pretty well. The longer you get away from Infinite, the more the kind of luster wears off a little bit. I don't think it's a bad game.
It's not as different as you were hoping it was going to be. I think is the biggest problem with Infinite. It's like, wow, look how different the setting is. But ultimately the gameplay is kind of the same thing, except it's a little more doomy, you know?
Yeah, they take out a lot of the stuff that makes the original BioShock, like 0451 vent crawler style games, good. But the one that I think that a lot of people missed was the DLC for BioShock 2, Minerva's Den. It takes about 3 hours to beat.
I love that.
Beginning, middle, end. It's so good. It's very, very good.
Yeah, I too downloaded the 3-pack off of Plus the other day, so I should probably dive in.
Yep. In fact, they just I think for now, if you have now, they added Infinite on there. It's not. I don't think it's on Plus right now, but now you can get Infinite. So
yeah, it's funny. Michael Rios and I just started replaying the original BioShock for our patrons on Rage Select because I've just been wanting to do that for a long time. It's probably been about 5 years since I last played through BioShock, and it's just like we played it for an hour. It really does hold up pretty good.
Yeah.
Man, I haven't played BioShock 1. I played it once when it came out, and that was when I was PC gaming. That was like my platform of choice. And I think Jeff knows is like, well, shit, that's been a long time ago.
Yes, indeed.
So Ben is sitting over here dying to join this fucking stream because he likes horror movies too. So I'm going to add him if that's okay with you guys. Here he is. Ben, hello.
It sounds like a stretch. I mean, I was more for the BioShock talk, but
no,
whatever.
you shut up on BioShock. No one cares about your opinion about BioShock.
Booker catch. All right, I'm done now.
I'm just kidding. Going back, they're making a new Purge film, The Purge 5. The creator who's written every single film has said this is the last one, which, you know, the studio owns it. So
I've been working on my Purge list.
But I've liked the Purge films overall. I even liked the Purge TV show. I thought it was pretty good.
I've been getting ready. That's what I've been spending quarantine doing is getting ready for the Purge.
Wait, Jason,
me both, brother.
Are you going offensive or defensive during the Purge? Are you putting a battle wagon?
Why are you even asking, Jeff? You've known him long enough now.
Yeah.
Look, going offensive during the Purge would require Jason Murphy to go outside and exert himself doing stuff, and I know that you don't like to do that. So
Jason is making violent Home Alone traps to see if they actually work for his next book.
Yeah, you should come over, Jeff.
On Purge night, obviously.
That's a really good point because, like, going offensive on Purge night, man, my cardio is real bad.
You better have your cardio up to level when.
But I've got like an awesome. I've got like the mask. I got the mask. The mask is cool. I've been like using modern rogue stuff. I got this cool weapon with these spikes, and it's gonna be. I got like a whole theme. Allison's
that's right. The modern.
She doesn't know what it's for. So
I was gonna say I'd love to hear Jason reviewing the first Purge movie because remember I reviewed that one for one of us, and it's just like you see these guys like underneath grates, like tripping up people and then laughing, and I'm just like. Jason would be like, no, you trip them, then you stab them in the junk, and then you stab them in the gut, and you watch them bleed out. That's what you do.
I've actually never seen a Purge movie.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah. I would like to. I just haven't.
Jason Murphy.
Yeah.
The Purge 1 I like a lot, but it's skippable.
Yeah.
The Purge 2 is John fucking Carpenter. It's John Carpenter movie. 100%. You watch it and you'll go like, holy shit, this is a Carpenter film. And like the most Carpenter film, not by Carpenter, you've seen, I don't even know in how long. I was like, I remember sitting there expecting like, okay, here we go. Like a lackluster sequel to a movie that was good, but not great. And it's like, holy shit, this is amazing.
And I think the first Purge, because the first Purge has a guy who we dubbed in the review young Wesley fucking Snipes, which the dude literally owns it. He's like Blade, just killing people in the middle of the Purge. It's kind of fantastic.
Yeah, I highly recommend the series. The first, I've not watched the second season of The Purge, the television show. The first season kicked ass. Really,
there's a TV show.
Yeah, there's a TV show as well.
What channel was that even on?
Frank Grillo is the star of Purge 2 and 3.
Oh, right, yeah.
Fucking amazing, man. Star-making turn. Oh, my God. No matter what Mike McAllister says, he's wrong. But, you know, hey, here we are. But anyway, the point is, the last film is going to be called The Forever Purge. And no one really knows what that means. But I kind of like the concept just by the title. We will see. It's the final thing that the original creator started. The whole thing is deeply political, no question about it. Like, we are talking about politics, but who cares? Because the kills are great. It's action heavy, great character actors.
Did you hear the thing about Atlanta used the purge siren to tell people to stay indoors for coronavirus?
I did see that. That was not a good call on their part.
That's the forever purge right there.
Mike, are you saying that the Purge films are on Amazon Prime? Because I don't know if that's actually true or not. I have not looked it up, so maybe they are. Anyway, next up, there's a Hellraiser reboot coming out, as has been threatened for quite some time. I know Jason Murphy and I are both huge fans of the Hellraiser first two films.
Yeah. I'm putting the Hellraiser reboot in there with the He-Man movie and the whole, I'll believe it when I see it.
Right. Know? Well, it moved to the next level now. They've said it has happened. They've chosen a director last year, David S. Goyer, who has had both really great films and really atrociously awful films as a writer. So I'm like, your results may vary, is the one who was writing it. But now it's been attached to David Bruckner to helm. And if you have seen The Ritual on Netflix, which I thought was exceptionally good.
Oh, it's really good. I liked
it. Really liked it. I'm going, maybe this is the right guy. And the way he's selling it has nothing to do with the actual Cenobites. They're selling it with all the pre-word about, like, it's not really about Pinhead. Because if you remember the original film, Pinhead doesn't even appear till the end of the film.
Yeah, the Cenobites are supplemental in the first one, and then the rest of the movie or the rest of the series kind of became about that. I'm actually, it's just fascinating to me how the mythology of the Hellraiser franchise has evolved, and through comic books and books and the various films and everything, and how it became something that Clive Barker never intended, and. I didn't read it, but there was that book that came out, the Scarlet Gospels, a couple of years ago.
Yes, I read it.
It was like where Pinhead gets really annoyed when people call him Pinhead.
Yes. I have it. It's distressingly wrong. I can't say I didn't enjoy reading it, but you enjoyed reading it the same way you enjoy watching The Room. It's not good, but it's so like... It's like the craziest fan fiction Hellraiser stuff imaginable. I mean, I just keep thinking of like Clive Barker, he's writing it and he's piercing himself with pins while he's writing it and listening to really bad death metal. I mean, I know it feels like that. It's like,
didn't he farm it out to somebody else? Like,
no, it's him. It's him.
James, oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought he had somebody else like co-write it, like James Patterson style or something.
I mean, if so, it doesn't say so in the credits for the book.
Okay,
so.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
actually. Sorry. I was going to say I actually watched a YouTube video made by this channel called In Praise of Shadows that was like a whole retrospective on Hellraiser. And one of the things they said that I didn't know was that the mom was supposed to be the monster. That John Carpenter wanted there to be like a female slasher villain, and not.
Clive
Barker, sorry, wanted there to be a female like slasher villain, and so the mom that does all the killing and stuff, the stepmom, was eventually at the end of 2 supposed to become a Cenobite, and she was supposed to be the focus villain, but everybody just went nuts for Pinhead. So she said, "You got to write me out at the end of the second one because I'm not going to play second fiddle to Pinhead for a million movies."
That's fair.
Did you guys see the documentary Leviathan?
No, I have not.
Yeah, there's a documentary on. It was on Shudder. I don't know if it still is. I watched a good chunk of it. I never did finish it. It's very long, but it's an exhaustive documentary about Hellraiser 1 and 2.
Okay, that's awesome. Those are the only two we should care about, quite frankly.
I don't know. I mean, those are like the good ones, like the really good ones. But some of the other ones, they're not bad. They're fun schlock.
There's moments in the other ones, but they really lose the lore. It's kind of like watching the Nightmare on Elm Street movies as they go on. It's like, I don't know if you know what you're doing anymore. You're just making bad quips and having him kill people while they sleep.
I've actually been curious because I didn't know that it was 4 was Clive Barker as well, right? But then the studio took it, and it was supposed to be 3 vignettes where it started in France, and then it like medieval France, modern day, and the future, and it was supposed to be about this family that was basically that had been tricked into making the box, nullifying the box. And the thing is that apparently the studio decided that because Pinhead didn't show up until the 2/3 of the way through, they recut the entire movie to put to put the space station stuff there, and they cut out a whole bunch of it. And I actually found a YouTube channel where since then fans have gotten their hands on the original Clive Barker script and tried to reassemble the movie, even going as far as using like stuff like software that looks like Skyrim to like make scenes that were never filmed and got cut and they don't have access to anymore. Like it's just there's this whole Hellraiser 4 reconstruction project of trying to put that movie back into what it was. And the problem was that at the end of Hellraiser 4, the space station was supposed to trap the Cenobites in space where they could no longer do anything forever. And that would have been the end of the franchise. And then you should really go watch that Anatomy of a Franchise thing about them, because that franchise got fucked 6 Ways from Tuesday.
Did you ever watch the last one they put out like last year? It was like they gave it to some really super low budget director. It was like, we're going to make it fucking gory and sex filled as shit. I got and I always give people shit who say this. I watched it for 10 minutes and I cut out. I got 30 minutes in before I was like, dude, what is this? This is just some weird like fetishy fan film for Hellraiser. What am I watching? I just cut out.
I was gonna say, like the 5th one has that odd praise to it of being Scott Derrickson's first big horror feature.
Yeah. Is that the one with Greg Sheffer?
I can't remember. I think it's Inferno.
I've seen it. I just don't remember.
Yes, he's in there. Okay, I just looked it up. And I was like, and that's the only reason I remember that one was Scott Derrickson. I remember looking him up when he was working with Cargill, and I was just like, oh, he worked on a Hellraiser movie. Oh, that Hellraiser movie. Okay, well.
I didn't think that one was bad. I remember watching it going, oh.
It's one of the mediocre to okay ones. I think it's, the 5th one. So 3, 4, and 5 are passable-ish.
Yeah, I liked 4. I was like, oh, I expected that to be horrible. And it was kind of cool. Okay.
It's better than 3, which is not a high bar.
No, 3 is actually probably the lowest until you get to like the more present day one.
It's the Nightmare on Elm Street 5 of the Hellraiser series.
As I understand, though, they just keep cranking them out with zero budget because Clive Barker is like waiting with attorneys for the moment that shit that the copyright goes out to basically sue them to get the rights back to it and do what he always wanted to do with it.
Sure,
but then they're just like, oh, we got a week left. Here's like $10,000. Go make a Hellraiser movie. I don't give it.
That's
give a shit how bad it is.
Do you want Corman Fantastic Four? Because that's how you get Corman Fantastic Four.
Yeah, here's enough money to making a puzzle box and a Pinhead mask. Go.
So we're gonna add another one of our regular people who has not been on one of these yet. Nathan Flynn. Hello.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Keep talking about horror. Salem's Lot reboot being directed by Gary Dauberman, who did Annabelle Comes Home, which I'm gonna right here say I'm actually a fan of.
Really? I haven't
seen it. I heard it was
one of the
good.
better ones, yeah.
Yeah, the Annabelle first spin-off film is awful. It's just no reason to watch it. It's terrible.
Second one's solid.
Second one's solid. Third one's kind of fucking badass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
I keep describing it. It's the Avengers Endgame of the Conjuring universe.
This is
James
the
Wan
second
universe.
time. This is the second time someone in as many days someone has just randomly told me, like, no, seriously, you got to watch the Annabelle movies because some of them are actually really good.
Not the first one.
They're the ones that James Wan seems to have committed the most resources to actually making passable. I mean, they're not all great, but they're at least passable horror movies.
But yeah, who did the second one? I wonder.
It was David Sandberg who did Shazam.
Right.
Okay.
And then the third one now is by Dauberman, who also co-wrote It and It Chapter 2.
Oh, right.
Now, obviously, after the success of turning miniseries out Stephen King adaptation into just movies, they were like, oh, well, maybe we should go to this guy here, which makes sense. Sam's Lot was King's second novel he ever got published. Not written, mind you.
Also my favorite horror novel of all time.
Really? Sam's Lot.
Yeah, okay. And I probably watch the original miniseries directed by Toby Hooper like once a year. Did I ever tell you guys my Salem's Lot story?
What? Say it again.
Did I ever tell you guys my Salem's Lot story?
No, everyone sit back.
Okay, so bear with me. Okay, so are you guys familiar with UIL prose interpretation or dramatic reading, like in high school?
Yeah.
When you go, like a bunch of high schoolers, they all get together and they pick, some sort of story. It's like 5 minutes, and they get up in front of a classroom and they dramatically read it. And a bunch of adult judges, rank them. Okay, delivery, et cetera, et cetera. Here's how you did. Oh, this is great. This is awesome. And this was bad. And so I did that in high school, and I loved it. I was pretty good at it. It was my favorite thing. But everyone was always reading like Mark Twain and Henry Miller and blah 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 blah.
Nerds.
I was like, and sometimes they would do like the most risque things that people would do was what is it? Telltale Heart.
Okay, sure.
And,
I mean, that's
so I
fun,
was like,
but sure.
yeah, I was like, everybody does the same thing. I'm gonna do Salem's Lot. That's
as your theatrical performance.
Yeah.
What did you play? How did you do that?
I did.
Did you turn that into?
It was
that?
One man show.
You just read. It wasn't theatrical. You're just reading prose.
Was it a musical?
No. Although I'm working on one.
Did you do the main accent?
Yeah, but it was the scene where Barlow, the vampire, and Straker are in the kitchen, and they kill the kid's parents, and the priest is there, and Barlow is like, "Come, shaman, test my faith against yours," and he turns Father Callahan into the vampire and all that. It's a really great scene. It's fantastic. I didn't tell my coach what I was going to do. I told her I was doing Mark Twain. Yeah. And so I get in there and I fucking destroy. And I'm 17, right? So long hair, black suit.
Where are those pictures? Where are those?
I want to see the pictures.
Yeah.
These are the things Stephen King still lives for. That and the blood of young children. But
yeah. So I get in there and I'm reading this and I get and I had won. And after a couple of meetings, or a couple of these competitions, I won first like 3 or 4 times, and I got the gold and everything. And my coach brought me in, and she was like, "I hear you're doing a Stephen King short story." I was like, "Yeah," and I got the gold. And you didn't even coach me. She's like, "Well, what about Mark Twain?" I was like, "Well, I didn't win with Mark Twain. I won with vampires." And she was mad at me, and she kept telling me to stop, but I kept winning. And so finally she was like, "All right, just keep doing it. Fine." And I wasn't goth. I was a nerd. Surprise.
You can be a goth nerd. Like
I wasn't though. I was just a nerd. Just a nerd, full stop. And so, and this was in West Texas in the 90s, right? Small towns and everything. So I went to this one competition. I got all the way to the finals, and I'm in there. And there was this one kid that I kind of knew from a different school, and he was a strange kid. I think he had some mental issues. He was the kind of kid who would wear like a really heavy coat in the middle of the summer and like walk around town muttering to himself.
Did he have fingerless gloves?
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never seen anyone like that.
It was
This is Chris Vampire Cox. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Was literally my nickname in high school.
Yeah, and so we get into the finals, and I do my piece, and I nailed it. And I felt so good about it. I go sit down, and this kid, we'll call him Tom. We'll call him Tom. So Tom,
fuck you, Tom, wherever you are.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah, there's a coda to this. So Tom gets up there, and Tom's really good too. He was competing against me. Tom starts to read Great Expectations, but he's totally screwing it up. He's stuttering, and he can't even get through his intro. He's like, oh, and that's just what kids do. And I'm like, And the whole classroom, all these adults and everything, they're looking around and they're going, what? And I'm like, what is this part of his thing? Is this it? Oh, he's speaking in tongues.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah. He went full glossolalia right there in the front of the class.
Is that
And
ever
Remember
made?
that portion of Great Expectations.
Yeah, right. It's like the Dickens extended cut. He and so he does this for like a full minute, and finally his coach is like, "Oh, I gotta step in." And so she just takes him and very kindly leads him out of the room into a separate classroom. One of my buddies, nice guy, goes in there with Tom and sits down and says, "Hey, Tom, you okay?" And he's catatonic for an hour.
Oh,
For an hour, and he's sitting there, and after she leads him out, everybody else is like, "Okay, well, would the next participant like to go up and read theirs? And how can they follow somebody speaking in tongues, right?" and so he's catatonic for an hour in this classroom, and my buddy's in there with him, like giving him water, sitting in front, and he's just sitting there, just. And then finally he goes, like he snaps out of his fugue state. And they're like, "Hey, man, what happened?" And he goes, I don't know. Just Murphy really scared me. He freaked me out. Yeah. And then I've got adults coming up to me. The judges coming up to me afterwards going, did you place a curse on that young man? like legitimately asking if I had practiced black magic. And I just said, no, because that's not real.
Come on, you are from Midian, right?
Yeah. And so I was
Midland. Sorry, Midland.
Oh, yeah. Same thing.
God damn.
Real similar. And so this kid, he, and I was always nice to this guy. I was like one of the few people who were nice to him. So years later, here's the code. Years later, my buddy tracks him down on Facebook. Okay. Tom has been self-publishing books about high school bullies and tormentors and everything. And the cover of his book has the bad guy on it. No. And I was like, dude, that's me.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's me.
Well,
and he drew a picture of me.
Oh my God. Is that not on your mantle behind you? Like, how do you have Star Wars but not that?
Dude, put it on my mantle. I nearly changed my name because this story is ostensibly about him getting revenge on this evil bully who's into Satan. Yeah,
embrace it.
This doesn't sound like you at all.
Mantle.
So Salem's Lot is pretty cool.
Fair.
Thank you for indulging me. I love telling that story.
No, that's a great story.
Honestly, tell us, send us a tweet to Stephen King. I swear to God, he will probably send you a signed copy.
I mean, because your stories are so good, I'm like, I thought about introducing you as Jason Ramming Speed Murphy. One of my favorite stories by you ever. But I'm going to tell you something that's going to disappoint you. They're making a remake of Night of the Hunter.
No.
Yeah, that's inexplicable. You don't remake perfect film.
All right. Who's going to be Mitchum?
Well, they haven't said any of that yet, but Universal Pictures is doing it, which, to be fair, they pretty much kicked the shit out of the Invisible Man remake, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Good.
I did not expect that to be great, and it was really great.
After they ruined 3 other Universal monsters,
but maybe the contextualizing here is like, let's do this really differently. And if there was a film you were going to find a modern way to tell and do something really creative and get a good director and good writer with, Night of the Hunter's not a terrible choice to do that with, if you were going to do that. So
yeah,
we shall see.
Who do you guys want as Reverend Harry Powell?
That's a loaded question. Jason,
Colin Farrell?
I want Jeff.
Jeff or Jason, either would work with me. Yeah.
I want both of us playing Robert
Twins.
Mitchum's character.
Honestly, yeah, I'd watch that.
Sure.
Jeff can be love, I can be hate.
I'd
I've
watch
never
that
seen
on
this
VOD.
movie before, but I feel like this is
Great.
very ominous. What you're
Oh,
saying?
Night of the Hunter's
It's
so
great.
great.
Okay.
We're going to
I'm
be
not
chasing
sure.
after children and trying to kill them. You're gonna
Apparently,
love it.
it was marketed as a children's film back then. Like it played in between merry melodies
Oh God.
because they just didn't know what the
That
fuck
movie's-
to do with it.
That movie's really kind of troubling, you know?
That is extremely troubling.
I haven't seen it in ages because I did see it at a younger age, and I was like, no, I don't need to see that again until I'm less fucked up in the head. Let's go moving
The
on.
shot
from here.
of the mother with her hair just
Yeah.
underwater.
Oh
haunts the
God, it's
shit out of
beautiful.
me.
One of the most beautiful shots of all time. And
Oh,
Dennis,
for sure.
one of our friends, hey
Yeah,
Dennis,
Malton Goggins. Oh my God,
right?
that'd be.
I
You
could
said
see it.
Walton Goggins?
I could
Oh,
see
oh,
it.
Yeah.
I think he would be a choice
6
that's
seasons of
so good
Justified proved
that I'm
it.
like, I almost don't care about anything else. But he's playing the Robert Mitchum role. Sure.
Yeah.
Let's give it
that
a
guy
shot.
Eat it up.
I'd watch
oh my
it.
God.
Yeah. So we're getting to the end here. Want to go through real quick. Richard Kelly, who did, I think, the masterpiece Donnie Darko and nothing else worth watching, has announced that he's making a Southland Tales prequel. Oh, in addition to a 4K director's cut, a version of the 158-minute Cannes film cut, which no one has seen who wasn't there. No one was asking for this. It's not a good movie. But he's like, yeah, we're going to make a prequel. It's going to be half animation, half live action. I'm like, you really have gone crazy, haven't you, Richard Kelly?
Is he using Kickstarter?
One would think, but I mean, he's only made 2 movies, I believe, as director since Donnie Darko, Southland Tales,
Domino, which
and
I
The
kinda
Box.
like.
No, but directed.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just.
Domino is terrible, Nate. Get used to it.
I love
Sorry,
Domino.
terrible movie.
I never did see Domino. That was Tony Scott, right? I know Cargill
Yeah.
like bangs that drum pretty regularly.
He does.
I like it.
Yeah.
Domino.
Frank's like, Southland Tales. I love that movie. Frank, shut up, Frank.
Yeah,
I care what
no.
you think, but still shut up.
Like we're glazing over The Box. Remember when that came out and it was like, yeah, it's a
It's
great
terrible.
moral story, and then you watch the movie, it's like, none of this matters. What the
No,
fuck?
it's-
Why'd you make this?
It's fucking terrible. Our last news story, though, is okay, hold on. I'm going to actually pull this up to split screen here if I can make it happen because it just makes me so sad. It feels like, no, Siri. No, I don't want to do that. God damn it. Siri.
Why are you talking to Siri on your computer, Chris?
She's
can you
always trying to make me do things.
help? That's the monkey's job.
Did you install Siri?
Or did you summon Siri in a ritual?
It
Is Siri a
comes,
voice that only you can hear?
Did
Chris?
you open Siri's puzzle box? What's going on?
it comes with Mac
What is
now.
your
You have
pleasure?
no choice. But that,
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
man, Goldfinger. What are
Pussy
you gonna do?
galore.
One of the all-time great Pussy Galore. One of the all-time. There's a Slash film did a great article about this that ties into a bunch of other articles and interviews where she would laugh about like Americans were so fucking freaked out about her name being Pussy Galore, and the English were like, "Yeah, it's a joke. What's
Yeah.
wrong with you?"
The ultimate Bond girl for me. Like, just honestly, she owned that role and was like, I mean, aside from being sexually assaulted by him, is, the toughest
Yeah.
Bond girl
I mean,
of
yeah,
that era.
yeah, we're trying to forget that part. Thanks for making it dark. I appreciate
Oh, I'm
that.
sorry. If you watch Goldfinger, there's literally a moment where he smacks a girl on the ass and goes, "Man talk." I'm
Yep.
sorry. That's not the most progressive
Still.
film in the Bond history.
Hey, there's a lot of not progressive films that you're like, it was the time, it was different. It's still a really good movie.
It's not
Goldfinger's a
nearly as-
really good movie.
Yeah,
I
it's
saw
not nearly
somebody
as bad as
criticize-
Thunderball.
I was going to say, and
No.
I saw somebody try to criticize the love scene in Blade Runner the other night. I'm like, I can't talk to you right now. I know what is wrong with this, and I can't because it's Blade Runner. I'm sorry.
To some degree, it also is supposed to be wrong in Blade Runner.
Mhm.
So I'm kind
Yeah.
of like, if you're like, this is wrong, I'm like, yes, you saw what he was intending.
Yeah.
Good for you. You're not
Humans
supposed to go
should
fuck this
never-
movie.
Humans should never fornicate with synthetics. It's disgusting.
Wait, is this an option?
Look, Jason, that owl
You have
was
a link?
asking for it. Come on.
Where's the link, Jason Murphy?
Quarantine.
Is that why you won't turn the turtle over?
What's a tortoise?
All right, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you, everyone, for coming in. Jeff, obviously, everyone can find you at rageselect.com, where you do live play games, and you have not stopped your content. It is coming fast and furious. A lot of stuff. Eventually, I guess I'll be on another one when he deigns to ask me. So I'll be there.
I'll come to your birthday party if I'm ever invited.
Look, Frank to bother. Why would he bother you?
Jason Murphy, the Modern Rogue.
youtube.com/Modern Rogue.
Are y'all doing stuff in that? What are you doing with the isolation thing? What's happening?
We've got a backlog of episodes. We're still rolling stuff out every Friday. We have cut back a little bit after, we were doing like 2 or 3 a week, but we've got a little bit of a backlog, and we're shifting our production to where we can figure out some new types of episodes that we can do. We've got some really a really big elaborate one that I've been planning for Brian. It's coming up soon. You guys are gonna like it. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
How will you make him suffer?
Oh, just some diabolical. I got a little puppet on a tricycle and everything.
I was gonna say, you found an ATSD. How is that not something you've been planning for 50 years?
Oh man, it's we recently did the ATST where we did the Ewok log trap with them smashing like a 4-foot tall ATST. We figured out how to do the trap. We had Annalisa, one of the people that works with us, build this amazing ATST, and then we did this whole really ridiculous skit along with it. So it was a lot of fun.
Awesome. I can't wait to see the new episodes. I've been keeping up with it as well. It is a great show. We all love Brian as well. He's terrific. Thanks to everybody for listening. This has been great. We've been trying to pump out a lot more content of late with this thing. Please support Oneofus.net. Please support Modern Rogue. Please support Rage Select. We're all doing the best we can during this crisis, like everybody else is, which is about, man, we still need y'all to give us the clicks, to promote stuff, to tell other people about it, to get subscriptions or Patreon subscribers or whatever it is. We need that stuff just like everybody else. Thank you so much for all the people who are supporting us so strongly. We really, really appreciate it. And with that, I guess we're going to say goodnight and from the end of the world. Bye.
Good night.
You're listening to the Oneofus.net podcast network.